this year, some of those towards the bottom of the weight, you really can't see them getting involved at all, can you? And he's a quality horse, I think, for an each way
compressed weights nowadays.
Absolutely.
It's not like 12 stone to 10 stone back in the day.
I've just got a feeling, third 2 years ago, second last year, could it be this year? I've just got to complete my commercial obligations and mention that we have a competition on the website for members only to win a course walk at Punchestown with Ruby.
Right.
So if you're a Racing TV member, get on the website, enter that competition, and you can have an exclusive course walk. Just 5 members plus their guests to walk the course before the first day of racing at the Punchestown Festival. So great prize to be won.
And if any second now wins the Grand National, it might be Ruby out. They can walk the track with later.
I'll be dancing all the way down Hope Straight with him if he does. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good to catch up. I will speak to you later on.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah, thanks to Will, and echo the sentiments completely. RacingTV.com, definitely the place to be. And good luck as well with the Any Second Now tip. We're going to have a look at the second race on today's card, which is the first of the handicaps. The 220, 2 mile 4 is the trip for the William Hill Handicap Hurdle. At the time of talking, we've got a field of 21. These are the prices with Betfair. Fenacross, Ben Harvey, Cheltenham Festival winner, has his first ride at Aintree. 13-2, Cab Prond, who booked for victory at the festival, didn't quite happen, finished third, 7-1, Darginini, 8-1, Captain Combi is a 9-1 shot, No Ordinary Joe, 10-1, Buddy 1, 10-1, Pull Again Green, 11-1, Martello Sky supported, 12-1, Harbour Lake, 12, 14s, and bigger the rest. Just looking on look at the details, there's some fair pace potential, should be that way, wide open, and just one of those tricky but traditionally feisty handicaps we associate with the meeting.
Yeah, I tell you what, looking back at yesterday, Chris Dixon and Daniel Barber had it easy. Honestly. First 3 fabs, easy. You guys got much tougher today.
Yeah.
What was your starting point?
After suggesting Jerry Colombo will win at 8
well, hang on, that's the one. Yeah, the rest of them much more open. Where's your starting point for this race?
I'll tell you the starting point. A mare that I quite like in this race at a big price, Martello Sky. Okay. I think she's overpriced. I think she's got a good each-way chance. She's very consistent mare. She's put up some series of big performances throughout her career. I think the yard were very quiet for her 3 runs in the autumn time. Lucy Wadham's yard, and since the turn of the year they've been hitting the target much more regularly, horses running well much more frequently. She comes here fresh off a break. She's won off a higher mark in the past, admittedly in Mare's only company this will be tougher, but she's got lots of performances in her locker that will give her a chance. She's very consistent, and I think she'll be suited by the demands of a well-run race over an intermediate trip, Martello Sky. So for me it's sort of 14, 16 to 1, not yet, but 14, 16 to 1 I think he's a big price, too big a price, and she's got a good chance.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Great. You know you'll probably back us quite soon now you said that. She'll come in now, won't she? What was your starting point, Graham?
My starting point, and hopefully ending point, is the Coral Cup, and not necessarily the most obvious one. I think the Coral Cup has to have some sort of a bearing on this race. And Camprond is the horse who will be on many a betting slip today. But I want to draw people's attention to the captain, again, Captain Combi. I am a bit of a sucker for these really smooth travelling hold-up horses, but when you have a look at Captain Combi's record on his last 2, 3, 4 runs, he really does catch the eye, and I think Cheltenham just found him out in the end. What did you make of Camprond in the Coral Cup, Martin? Because he clearly ran an absolute belter, despite taking a massive walk in the market. One or two people did suggest that Aidan Coleman might have gone for home a little bit too soon, and I do get that, but all the same, they ran a tremendous race together.
Yeah, he did. He ran a massive race, and look, I think if he'd have jumped the last a bit quicker, he would have been closer anyway. I thought that halted his momentum. We'll see it in a moment. But impressed with his performance. I think 2 mile 5 at Cheltenham is just right on his limit, essentially. And I think 2 mile 4 here at Aintree will be more suitable for Camprond, who he has pace, he has gears, doesn't he? And we saw him quicken there off the bend at Cheltenham.
Stayed up well, actually, didn't he?
Yeah, I was, when I watched this back, because initially I was thinking Captain Conby, Nell's son, can I see them turning the tables obviously much better off at the weights. I thought I would be sucked into thinking that they could, and then I watched it back and I was more impressed by Camprond and personally thinking that he would have pulled form
Another potential plus point for him is that when he ran so well in the Coral Cup last year.
Yeah.
He had a somewhat longer break, but he went to Punchestown and backed it up and then some. So it's not like he doesn't have a record of going to one festival, then another, and performing right up to his best of both.
Hard to knock him, really, Campron, isn't it? Because he's run a big race here at Aintree in the past. That was 2 years ago when he was just touched off in the big 2-mile handicap on the Saturday. And he's got a load of... I mean, he deserves one of the big British festival wins now, doesn't he? He obviously got the job done at Punchestown last year, but he's hit the frame in, obviously, Coral Cups and like I say, here at Aintree 2 years ago as well. So he does have a fantastic record, really, without a win.
JP McManus had a winner here yesterday, and 3-time major winner Porrick Harrington was one of his guests, so I wonder who'll be in the JP entourage today.
Well, swap out Campron for No Ordinary Joe, who also carries those colours. Another strong travelling horse who, for my money, I thought might go on and win that contest until his owner companion Iroko came and did him and stayed on better to score. What did you make of No Ordinary Joe here, Graham?
I thought he ran an excellent race. He's a horse who's tends to be ridden really patiently. He's a smooth travelling horse. I think he traded at a short price here in the Martin Pipe race. We should also keep an eye on Buddy One in the very pale colours towards the far side, about to make his move. But these two horses are very, very closely matched. Little like Campron. They've both gone up in the weights for being beaten. Campron's gone up £5. I think Buddy's gone up, was it 3 or 4? Likewise, No Ordinary Joe. Of the pair, I think I might just take No Ordinary Joe in that matchup against Buddy One, but clearly not much between them, Martin.
There is an interesting point as well. Jack Gilligan, who rides Buddy One, this was the conditional riders race, of course, at Cheltenham. He wasn't able to claim anything in the conditional
good point,
race. Yeah. And yet today, he's able to claim £7. So that does help offset a little bit of that rise in the weights. If he hadn't have hung across the track as well in a big open space, he'd have gone close to winning that, wouldn't he? I thought he was going to win jumping the last Buddy One. So if he keeps in a straight line with the rider able to claim, he's got a good each-way chance as well.
And Paul Nicholls, we know, can target these sorts of handicaps. He definitely passed that on to Dan Skelton. Has he passed it on to another one of his proteges, Harry Derham, with Darjanini, Martin, who is looking pretty progressive?
He is progressive, and he's starting to live up to his potential now from day one on a racetrack. I think it was Sedgefield. He put up a big performance in a bumper, and he looked a real talent. And he never really kicked on. His record has been a bit inconsistent, but Harry's got him on the straight and narrow now. 2 wins on the spin. They've been in much less competitive races. Now, I like what he does for 90% of the race, and he goes on and he wins comfortably. There's just an element, when he comes off the bridle, this horse, he doesn't have he has a little bit of an awkward gait. And he races, to me, the head comes up a little bit, he starts to hang slightly, and I'm not sure that in a race where there's a huge field around him, and from 2 out, it's going to be a bit more of a battle. I'm not absolutely convinced that his heart will be in it for that sort of a scrap, and we still need to learn that about him, of course, because he hasn't got a record like a Campron has and No Ordinary Joe and some of the other horses that bring big handicap form to the table. He hasn't done it yet, and I want to see him do it in this type of race, I think, before I'm convinced.
And he showed his hand to a certain extent now. Uttoxeter and Newbury. That was a decisive win, but as we saw, driven right out to the line. So a £7 hike, I think, leaves him with a little more improvement to find. It was a big day for Harry Durham, because I think it's probably just about the best horse he's run so far in terms of ratings, and his strike rate's excellent, and as a showcase for his talents and potential recruits for next season, you couldn't get much better than a race like today's.
We haven't touched on Fenner Cross yet, who was 11th in the Supreme.
Yeah, me and Graham were just chatting before we came on air. Surprised, I think, that he'd found his way to favouritism. Now, he's unexposed. The ground conditions will definitely help him, and I think it had got too soft at Cheltenham. So there were excuses there, but he's still one of those horses that's got to come and prove himself on a bigger stage, I suppose. His novice form was fine in the autumn, but they weren't the most competitive grade of novice hurdles. And I think he's still got improvement to find, but conditions will help him.
There are a few horses who got banjoed by Marine Nationale and co in the Supreme Novices who are looking to make amends today, and he's one of them, Fenner Cross. I thought he ran okay in the Supreme without sort of hinting to me that he was really well handicapped, but some people clearly think he is ahead of his mark. But he's moving up in trip into a handicap. He wasn't he wasn't in my top 3, to be honest. So the market support is interesting.
Just to come back to the footage we've seen from the Coral Cup and from the Martin Pipe, doesn't history tell us that the Martin Pipe is the way to go? It produces more progressive, ultimately better horses going forward.
Yeah, certainly has.
And Galopin de Champs was all right, wasn't
it? Banbury's not been too bad either, has it?
Sedation a
Delta
few years
work,
ago.
did he win it?
Ooh, no.
No?
I don't. Oh, no, I don't. No, you might be right. Who was the absolute? Maybe you did. Who was the absolute plodder in those colours as well? You're probably right.
Began with a C anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, it produces. We've done well there. It produces very good, but normally staying
Commander
horses.
of the Fleet.
Commander of the Fleet.
He won the Coral Cup.
Oh, did he?
Oh, there you go.
In the gloom.
I'm thinking of the horse that ended up running in a national, and he. I thought he'd win a Gold Cup, and then he turned out to be very slow. No, it's another one. It's definitely another one. Anyway, as I'm sort of paddling down memory lane, but that was at the sort of forefront of my mind when I was looking at the race yesterday. I'm thinking I'd rather go with No Ordinary Joe than Campron, because I feel like No Ordinary Joe might just have a bit more room.
I think Buddy won of those horses personally that ran in the Martin Pipe. He's a bigger price, I think, marginally than No Ordinary Joe. And like I say, with the rider able to claim today, I'd probably tip it his way from the Martin Pipe form, but we'll see. I know what's going to happen now. I'm going to check whether Delta Work won the Martin Pipe, and he won't have done.
I don't remember that. If he did,
Twitter's going to be going. My notifications will be people wanting to correct me.
So we know you're with Martello Sky around about 14.
Yes.
Who are you with?
Yeah, I was in each way in the Coral Cup, and I'll be in each way again on Captain Combi. I'd like them to try to be really, really, really patient and try and get him there, smuggle him there at the last, and then see what happens. But I take the point about Campron completely. The more you watch that replay, he ran a tremendous race, and even from a £5 higher mark, he looks primed for another big one.
All right, that's our look at a very open contest. We're going to go and look at previous winners of the Martin Pipe now. Get to get the phone.
Mark your card. Proudly sponsored by Typeform.
Native Train, New Energies running on in the second. Native Train is back from the winning train. It's Catherine and James Doyle has won the Kitco 1000 Guineas.
Mark your card. Proudly sponsored by Typeform.
Time to catch up with my friend Neil Phillips, the wine tipster. It's not really time, it's just because it's starting to rain, so I thought I'd get a bit of cover in the Red Rum Garden. All good?
Great, actually, now. Could have had a slightly better day yesterday. How did you get on yesterday?
It was good. It was brilliant. Shishkin and Constitution Hill for race course. It was fantastic. Move out of the way. Move out of the way.
I'm going to go. Oh, come on, look at this. Yes.
The statue. We done a bit here last year, and it is cool down here because you have all your whatever food you want, you can get it. Your beer, your DJ.
Everything's happening here. They got Adele Roberts on tonight. Great from Radio 1. So it's all going to be happening down here now. Brilliant.
Let's talk Red Rum. First memory. It was your first. We talked about it yesterday. Yes. It was the race that got you sort of hooked in the race.
It was, yeah.
First national.
First national, 1973. Rummy, Crisp. Yeah. That brilliant performance by Crisp. Rummy's off camera, and he comes into the picture and just scoots up. And what a fantastic story! And as I was saying yesterday, Ollie's put all the bars together here, down in the Red Rum Garden. He sat on Red Rum when he was 5 years old. Amazing story.
Yeah, absolutely. But every year.
But this is absolutely brilliant here. And it's always great to come back each year and see Rummy, isn't it?
Got a couple of bouncers there because you know what'll happen after a few years.
Yes, I think
people like yourself will try and get on.
Not you now. Not you.
No, I couldn't get that high. But it is fantastic. And like you talk about the Grand National every year. And no matter what age you are, everybody knows Red Rum.
They do, and that's the brilliant thing about it.
And he saved the national. Yeah, without him, there mightn't be a Grand National.
100%. I mean, that's one of the things. I was talking about this yesterday off air, in actual fact, just saying to my guests, look what Rummy did, really, and that whole story with Ginger McCain.
Yeah.
And Rummy's career as well. I mean, it was just absolutely brilliant. So he's done so much. He did so much for the national.
And the McCain family, years later.
Yes.
Ginger, just before we lost him, Amberley House, Graham Lee.
Yes.
And then obviously Bala Briggs and Donald's own name.
Oh, it was fantastic and great to continue that story. And obviously Donald's continuing the story tomorrow, isn't he? Which is brilliant.
Yeah. Well, another drama. What wins today?
I'm actually going to go in the no looking back, actually, in the 255 hurdle race over from Ireland. Really, I thought really good performance last time out. I think it's really like the attitude of this horse. I think we'll really appreciate coming to Aintree for the first time. How about you?
Martello Sky and Handicap hurdle, Rachel Blackmore.
Oh, I was going to talk about Martello Sky.
No, you weren't. She's very well handicapped.
I was going to talk about. Yeah, I was.
That pissed me off. I might change my mind.
I was really keen coming back into handicaps.
Yeah, and well treated.
Yes, absolutely.
Good jockey booking.
Yeah.
Ground, track, trip, everything fine.
Trainer in form.
Yeah, Lucy Wadham. Excellent.
Strong try. We're agreeing.
I don't like it. Right, DJ, does he play during racing or just after racing?
The after racing tonight, Adele Roberts is going to be here, but in the meantime, at the Recorder League side of bar, they're going to have the saxophonist coming on shortly as well, DJ there as well. So it's not just a whole bar scene, it's atmosphere and everything else going on during racing this afternoon here in the Red Rum Garden. So it's brilliant, really.
And you'll see behind all the different
we've got people want a great coffee, they've got chicken, they've got some great pasties here as well. It's all lots of choices for everybody.
I'm trying to edge you in this way.
Yeah, I know you are now, but you think the first race is going to take place in this race. But it's brilliant here, and actually the atmosphere down here yesterday, I was going to be DJing for a while actually now. I bet you'd be a great DJ, wouldn't you?
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think you'd be
I wouldn't disagree.
I think we need to get on the mixing desk, really.
Me and Chris Dixon, I don't know why, but we end up having a couple of drip beers out the front watching the race, which was lovely. The weather played its part, but I have to think, I missed the trick. I should have been in here.
You should have been here. So what we've got here, and the team are just going to get us ready some Atlantic Pale Ale here. We've got it all ready. We're just going to be No, that's going to be mine. Absolutely, I love this beer. Pale Ale's got more and more popular. Are you a Pale Ale fan?
No.
Okay, that's emphatic from Niall. We've got that, and also
the Madry, that works.
You like the Madry, do you? Yeah. We're going to get that as well. Can somebody get some Madry as well, please? And also, we've got something else special that's coming up as well, just for Niall, just for you, Niall.
What?
I like to look after you, and we're going to get that too. So we can actually get that coming up. Sorry, get that. You actually do that as well. Sorry. Yeah. So the other thing is as well, just to have something special for you now. Now I want you to taste this as well. Just pour that into the... Have a look at that, just up your street here. Just hold it up to the camera.
That's not even funny. Zero alcohol, all the taste.
It's getting more and more popular, more and more popular. There he goes. Niall's going to go in here now. Star of Parma Zero. Big thing for everybody now is actually zero alcohol. Zero alcohol gins. We're Guinness Zero at the Cheltenham Festival.
I've genuinely never tried zero alcohol. I don't really see the point.
He's going to go in. Here's Niall going. It's good to see he's passed a drink to me, by the way, as ever. It's always really good,
It's okay.
And I'm going to have this actually. See, that's all right.
It is actually genuine now. I wouldn't know it's zero alcohol.
Would you ever guess it? If I'd lined it up. So there we go. That's what's been happening. How it's all developed as well. There we go. And I've actually got him some Madry as well. I've got some Spanish lager there.
You can't be too harsh.
Yeah, but here we are. So this is a record leg cider as well. I've got some cider coming, I think. So just to give you an example of what's going on here too. Now tomorrow with the national,
they're actually very similar. They're genuinely
now, if I did a blind tasting, let's say we lined up, would you be able to tell the difference?
No, I don't think I would.
So there we go. I mean, it just said Niall Hannity has said it here on Racing TV, everybody. But
have you ever drank them?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is now, I'm actually drinking zero alcohol beers in the week. I like them. And I think they're just becoming more and more popular. Sales are going up now. There's no doubt about it. And they've got a lot better over the years as well.
Yeah, they have. So, not that I've ever tried them before, but that is...
So we just got some cider here for you as well, some Recorder League cider as well. Give you a little taste of that.
I actually had one of these yesterday.
Yeah.
You wouldn't drink 20 of them. They're lovely.
But they're very, very popular here. Just thinking ahead to tomorrow where you're just tucking in there. What? Hold a minute now. And he's tasting that, he's enjoying that. Tomorrow's national. The ground, because we thought we might get more rain. We haven't got that rain, hasn't come through.
Galvin, he'd like it if it didn't.
Yeah.
I suspect they'll have to fire a bit of water on the track side again. Not as lightning quick or anything, but I think, the race isn't the 5:15. So, whatever happens this time tomorrow, if it's a drying day all day, But
does it affect things big time? Do you think? Because we're going to be running on good to soft.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's really perfect.
Yeah.
You know, it's no excuse ground.
Yeah. And what do you think? I mean, does that take any of the horses out? I mean, Corrick Rambler, will he just get too far off the pace? Do you think?
That's the one. He needs a bit of luck. The way he's rode anyway, with obviously 40 runners, he needs to hopefully getting a good rhythm and dodge all everything in front of him. Delta Work, I suppose, he's the one that he'd probably like a bit more in, wouldn't he?
I think so, a bit more. I think that, I mean, he's got all the credentials, hasn't he? And I think after being third last year, I mean, I really have fancied him, but I am concerned now because we just haven't had that rain coming through. I'm really keen on Lamilos tomorrow. I'm slightly concerned about him, whether it just quite stay over from the last onwards, but like him.
Right.
He's going back in. Here we go.
I never thought I'd say this to you, of all people.
Yeah, come on now.
It's nice. I'm going to behave.
Here we go.
Yesterday wasn't great.
You behave. Come on. Cheers. Cheers. Here we go. Niall's been going in.
Right, real stuff now.
I guess that was sort of a seal of endorsement for non-alcoholic lager from Niall Hannity. This is nowhere segue or any form of link, but next up is the Timeform Race of the Day. And we have, from Timeform, Kieran Clark on the line. Kieran, I'm sure you were gripped by that segment there. Madri or Stara Praman Zero?
Yeah, unfortunately, we've got no pints here in the Timeform offices just yet, but we do have plenty of good action again to look forward to, don't we? We had 4 Grade 1s yesterday, another 4 Grade 1s today, and the top Novices hurdle is our race of the day. And it looks a really competitive renewal. We've got horses who've skipped Cheltenham, horses who've run well at Cheltenham, horses who have something to prove after Cheltenham. So, yeah, we're going to find out plenty, I'm sure.
Well, I think when you were going through this then, this race upgraded to Grade 1 status 7 or 8 years ago. Just looking at the prices alone over the last few years, and that's not just with John Bon, who was a short price favourite winning it last year. This is as wide open as a running of the races we've had, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and it says it all, and it's 4-1, 9-2 the field for a race of this nature, and you've got horses like In the Pocket who finished 4th in the Supreme and fared easily the best of those, and they're actually a bit on the easy side in the betting this morning. So, as you can see there, there's plenty of P's denoting potential improvements. In the Pocket obviously brings that standard setting form. He was such a good effort at Cheltenham, but we just feel like that was a hard race, and this is a sharp 2 miles, and he's always shaped to us like he's a 2.5 miler, and it's just maybe worth taking him on. But you see there horses like Lucia, and then Founder 50 who pulled well clear with Corbett's Cross last time, Alto Belly, Hullenbach. This is a really deep renewal, and whatever happens today, I think there's quite a few you could probably take forward going into next year, albeit over hurdles or over fences.
No, looking back, it's interesting there for Oliver McKiernan, who he won the race with the bowl with Follow the Plan at a huge price a few years ago. So interesting that he's bringing the running over. I just wanted to get your stance, the Timeform stance on Lucia and what she did or didn't do necessarily at Cheltenham last time. Yeah,
so that rating there, 157p, that is including her £7 weight allowance she gets here. Obviously, she's just been in Mayor's company up until then. And we thought she was a bit disappointing last time. She had all the hallmarks of a horse that looked a potential good thing. And she was a little bit keen. Her jumping was a little bit iffy. Now, she definitely wasn't 100% on the day. I think she's much better than that.
Yeah.
Just a little issue here. If you're taking a horse that's now favourite and she's taking on the boys for the first time, yes, she does have that weight allowance, but I just think she's a little bit priced on reputation rather than what she's done currently. So yeah, we were looking a bit further down when we were trying to find the winner.
Okay, we'll reveal all in a few moments' time. From a pace perspective, with the early positioning map, how have you assessed it?
Yeah, there's loads of pace on here. You look at the early pace map and it says extreme. One thing I noted yesterday, I was lucky enough to be on course yesterday, and they didn't come back. Races like the Red Run, they go a real gallop, and it proved very hard to come from the rear. You see there's loads of pace on Hullenbach, who we'll touch on very shortly, likes to go forward, Alta Belly, Matata, Rare Edition as well, Rhubarb. So it's going to be a real test at the trip, even though it's a sharp track. But like I say, it could favour those ridden prominently, even though it's going to be run at a good clip.
So You teased us with Hullenbach there. Are you personally, and from your perspective, from the firm's perspective, going to be looking at those that went to Cheltenham in this, or looking slightly further afield? I
think Hullenbach's got every chance in this. He was second in the bumper here last year behind Lookaway, and he's done nothing wrong over hurdles. He's 2 from 3. Both of those wins were in really good times, which is always something we look at. If you can back up a performance with a good time figure, and that's what he's done. And he won with any amount in hand last time. And I think the decision to skip Cheltenham and come back to Aintree could pay dividends, really. Fergal O'Brien, big day for the stable yesterday when they won the bumper. And he's in such good form at the minute, that yard. You really can't discount anything he's running. And he just looked a bit overpriced, I thought, at 15-2.
So who else is on the shortlist? Because it is that wide open a race. 13 go out and 9-2 the field.
Yeah, in the pocket's got to be on the shortlist just because he brings that Cheltenham form to the table. Alto Belly could run well at a big price. He's 16-1. He's looked a really exciting prospect recently. He does need to jump a little bit better, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gave Brian Carver a good spin at around 16-1. Quick mention for Founder 50. He's got very good form as well. Again, he just might be a little bit better over further. He looks like he could be a 2.5 mile horse. So we'll go for Hullenbach, hopefully. Carry on Fergal O'Brien's good week, but you've got to respect in the pocket as well.
Yeah, that was that great episode of Only Fools and Horses all those years ago. Just with yesterday, look, I'm not asking you to crunch numbers and things, but you said you were there at Aintree, what we saw yesterday with Shishkin, with Constitution Hill. Your gut reaction, and there will be more to come from it, but your gut reaction from what we saw from Constitution Hill yesterday, how impressed?
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange race to watch, really, wasn't it? Because he went clear down the back, and I thought, is he just going to send him and see what he's got? But then in the end, there's quite a strong wind there yesterday, and I think he let them come back to him in the straight, and Nico's just giving him easy time there. We're all fascinated to see where he's going to go next that week. Is he going to be a chaser? Is he going to win the next 3 champion hurdles? There's only 2 or 3 people who know that the answer to that, don't they? But in terms of Shishkin, that opens up loads of new options for him now, doesn't it? The likes of the races like the King George, and that'll be a fascinating clash next year. If he gets on to take Galloping the Champagne at Cheltenham, who knows what could happen there.
It can be one of those meetings, Aintree, that just leaves you dreaming of next year. We'll see. Kieran, thank you very much indeed. Fascinating stuff, and best of luck for the afternoon.
No worries, Nick. Thanks for your time.
That was Kieran Clark of Timeform, looking at their race of the day, which is the Poundland Top Novices Hurdle off at 2:55. And a wide open race it could prove to be. Now, Kieran's given you the Timeform perspective. We've had a look at the rating, the early pace and so on. It is going to be the 2:55, the next race that the gents on track are going to be casting their eyes over.
Mark your card. Proudly sponsored by Timeform.
Big races don't come any bigger than the Aintree Grand National. But it's not just about one day. So when you bet fair on the Grand National Festival at Aintree, you get big rewards to celebrate the big occasion.